Hi, it's our first essay of the semester. The Chapter 1 essay, Why Do We Create Monsters? That's the basic question that all the articles in Chapter 1 are seeking to investigate. After all, without us, there wouldn't be any monsters. Write an essay in which you respond to one of the following questions taken from Monsters Chapter 1. Now you see a list of authors and questions. Choose one of these. There's about a dozen of them, right? Well, maybe not quite that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. There we go. I exaggerated. Please do not choose any other question from the chapter. I have limited these questions to these ones because not all the questions in the book really make for a good essay response. Okay. Now, before you really choose a question, you should read through the chapter and you should watch the video that I have created for Chapter 1, the Chapter 1 introduction video. That'll give you an idea of what's in the chapter and what you might find most interesting to write about. So a large part of doing this essay is choosing a topic, choosing a question that frankly you're interested in, that you're excited about, something that you'll be willing to put some good work into because it's something that, well, quite frankly, intrigues you. Now, the final draft of the essay is due March 1st. That's a Monday, 11:59 p.m. Okay. Now, that's almost an entire month away. Seems like a really good long time, right? Well, it is, but it goes quickly. And procrastination is not your friend. We will divide up the process into some other parts before we get to that final draft, and that will help us to avoid procrastination. But this is the really important date, March 1st, and you have until 11:59 of that day. Be sure to follow the out-of-class essay guidelines, matters of form and style. If you have not yet looked at those guidelines and watched the video that goes with those guidelines, please do so. Failure to follow the deadlines has a very bad effect on people's grades, all right? Because I'll just simply say to you, what's the matter? Didn't you see the guidelines? Be sure to include a word count at the end of your essay. Now, the word count nowadays is pretty easy to see as you're typing away. Just be sure to put that down. It's not a big deal. Just put it down at the end of your essay, usually between the last paragraph and the works cited page, just maybe in parentheses, you can write the words. Do not lie about the word count because that's like really easy to tell. When you grade a whole bunch of essays that are basically the same length and one is short, it's really obvious. Now, please remember you must meet minimum requirements, which includes the word count. It also includes sources and subject matter. So you can't go off and say, well, I don't really like any of these questions. I'll invent my own questions. No. Sorry. No. No late essays will be accepted. Now, if you have some kind of situation that comes up, it's always best to talk to me ahead of time than try to explain yourself afterwards. I tend to be a lot less forgiving after the due date. Okay. Now, I feel that we do the best work when writing an essay if we break up the tasks into smaller, more bite-sized parts. The first task is to get a thesis, right? So submit a thesis statement. Now, if you're not familiar with what a thesis is, I do have a video that everybody should be watching, again, in that first module in the introduction, where it talks about how to write an essay. But if that's not clear enough, if you still have questions, please, please, please do not hesitate to come and see me during my office hours, okay? That's the time for us to pick up the slack, right? So I can make up for any confusion that I may be causing or any gaps that might be out there that I need to fill so that you can be at your best. Your thesis, essentially, and I'll just do the short version here, the super short, is your argument. And because you're responding to one of these questions, your thesis statement is principally your response, right? Your opinion, how you respond to whatever Hitchcock, Del Toro and Hogan, Klosterman, Brothers, Lowry, or Asma has to say. Following the thesis is a topic outline. Now, a topic outline is an informal outline. It's very brief. It should just give a good indication of where you're headed in terms of your essay. I don't need Roman numerals, capital letters, and all that. However, I do need enough in that topic outline to get a good sense of what you're going to say. Sometimes I get topic outlines where the topics are just a single word or maybe a couple words, and that doesn't really give a good sense of what the student is actually intending to write about. Now, this will be due on Canvas on Tuesday, February the 16th. Now, typically this would be due on a Monday, but Monday is a holiday, Washington's birthday, or Washington Day, if you look at the district calendar, very silly. February 16th, 11:59 p.m. Okay? So you have a pretty good amount of time between the time that you are given this assignment and the time that it's turned in, right? That's the time for you to be doing the reading, thinking, analyzing, and making decisions about what you're going to write about. Please have MLA citation entries for one source, okay? Now that one source, I do allow it to be one of the articles from our textbook, Monsters 2nd edition, or it could be from something else. It's up to you, but I want it done in correct MLA citation format. And again, that requires you to look at the handouts and the videos that are already posted in the introduction module for this class. A participation grade will be assigned for this, right, the thesis topic outline. And what I do is I make a short little video, kind of like I did for your first day writing, a short video in which I respond to what you have put in. Whether I think, yeah, this is a great idea, well, this seems a little problematic, maybe change this a little bit, or sorry, I don't think you're going in a good direction, we need to change. Okay? And that is so that you can be sure that you're going in the right direction before you start putting all the extra work into writing the essay. Now, this class will ultimately be divided into peer editing groups. And what that means is on Canvas, I put you into a group, and I'll, of course, give the instructions at that time on how to access the Canvas groups. But let's pretend we have 24 students. I will create 6 groups with 4 students in each group. I like to have 3 to 5. The ideal is 4 in each group. You have your own Canvas page. You will submit your rough draft to your Canvas work group, and you will also submit it to me. The rough draft of your essay is due Wednesday, February the 24th. So again, that's a pretty good amount of time between Tuesday the 16th and Wednesday the 24th to start putting that essay together. You do get a participation grade for this. I do want to make clear, when I grade the rough drafts, it's strictly a participation grade. You either have a rough draft that's at least half done or more, you get full credit. If it's less than half done, you get half credit. If it's not done or it's not turned in whatsoever, you get 0. But that's not an evaluative grade, okay? I want to point this out today because a lot of people get confused. They say, oh, you like my rough draft. Not necessarily. I just like that you did it. Okay, there's a big difference between those two ideas. Your peer group will read your rough draft, and you will read the rough drafts of the other members of your peer group. And you will complete peer editing sheets, which are posted on Canvas, and you will submit those peer editing sheets again twice to your work group so that the author of the essay that you peer edited can take a look and see what you wrote about their essay. And you also get to see what they wrote about your essay. And then you also give it to me so I can check things over and give everybody credit. Again, participation grade. That will be due Friday, February the 16th. So it's a pretty quick turnaround on that, right? But it's very, very important work to do. You read the essays written by others, you have a response. It's helpful in two ways. One is you're helping your peers, but you're also helping yourself. As you read other people's work, you see how other people did things. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't like it. And if you see MLA issues, maybe you see MLA issues in other people's work, and suddenly you might see those issues in your own work as well. Now, minimum requirements. What are we doing in this essay? Well, in terms of length, you need to have at least 1,000 words. And at the top end, I put around 1,400. That's what that squiggly line means. At least it used to mean that when I was taking math back in the day. The strong essay structure, including introduction, concession, rebuttal arguments, main body, and conclusion. If these terms are not familiar with you, please, again, go to my videos because I talk about all of these terms in my videos. And if that's still not clear, please come to my office hours. Now you need to have citations from at least one source. That source can be from our textbook. Now please remember, these are minimum requirements, not maximum requirements. Many essays will be improved if you have more research. There is some videos. There are some videos on how to do research in our Mesa Library databases. Something that takes you beyond just simply a Google search. You can access those at any time to learn how to use Mesa. Now, at first you may not care about using the Mesa Library, but I'm going to tell you right now that as we go through the course this semester, you will eventually be required to use what are called peer-reviewed materials, and those are best found through the Mesa Library. Lastly is the MLA format. MLA format in presentation and documentation, including correct works cited list. Refer to the handouts and videos on Canvas for correct MLA format. So I've mentioned this a few times now. We have lots of instruction on the Canvas in terms of handouts and videos that explain those handouts, including MLA format. I also have web links to a website called Purdue OWL and another web link to the MLA website itself. You have, therefore, a lot of resources that can help you with your MLA. Use them. Okay, use them. If you come up with a problem that you really are confused by, that's when you come to my office hour. Okay, that's when you come in and say, hey, Mr. Hoffman, I was trying to document a blah, blah, blah. I don't understand. It's not very clear from your handout. It's not very clear from the video. Purdue OWL doesn't have any examples. What should I do? And then we'll talk about it. Doing that afterwards is not a good idea. And by the way, doing it like at 11:50 on March the 1st, as you're scrambling to finish your essay and get it in a timely fashion, is also a really bad idea. Because I will be asleep. And you will not be able to get any help from me. All right. So plan ahead. I'm very excited about our first essay. First essays really tell me a lot about you and your educational preparation. If you write an A essay on the first paper, I don't pat myself on the back because you already came in doing that. That's terrific. But most students don't. And this is where we get a sense of, okay, here's where we have to go, here's where we are, and I know where I want to be, and here's how we have to get there. One little final note to set you maybe a little bit more at ease, a little bit less anxiety. Remember that this paper of the 4 is the lowest weighted paper of the 4 papers that we do. Okay, so this is the paper to make your mistakes on. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens this semester, and I'm looking forward to see what happens now.